exchanged. An extraordinary testament to the respect accorded Ki-Duk. Not only were his financial backers as patient as that monk guy, but his low-paid cast and crew were willing to put their lives repeatedly on hold, all trusting in a film that didn't even have a script.
예, 봄, 여름, 가을, 겨울은 이제 시나리오가 없었어요.
The film Spring, Summer, Autumn, Winter and Spring didn't have a scenario. It was filmed with just a treatment or synopsis. Each season had a synopsis the length of an A4 piece of paper. With this, the script was changed freely when it was shot.
안 터져요? 그래? 꼴짝이 꼴짝이네.
뭐 하느냐?
Spring, Summer, Autumn, Winter, Spring was Ki-Duk's biggest hit in America, where viewers happily submerged themselves in the alternate reality of its floating monastery. Now, Kim's films don't lull you slowly and gently under their spells. No, they tug you right in, often with a first-act surprise, such as in Samaritan Girl, where a sweet teenage hooker who seems to be our main character suddenly plunges out of a window.
안 돼, 재영아! 재영아!
People say that there are female characters in my films who are tragic and self-harmful. I think everyone is living lives of self-harm, harming others or being harmed. We are living within this infrastructure. The film just portrays this in a more exaggerated way.
The dying girl has a last request. She wants a visit from a client she liked. So her best friend tries to persuade him to make the effort.
친구가 병원에 있어요. 알죠, 재영이? 지난번에 만났잖아요.
He finally agrees, but only after he gets what he wants.
싫으니까.
빨리 해요.
빨리 하는 만큼 친구한테 빨리 가는 거야. 죽어가고 있잖아. 떨지 마. 떨지 마.
돈도 많이 들지도 않고.
My movies are all low budget, without spectacular action. I think that as Korean audiences mature, they will appreciate the more realistic pace of my films.
Although any given scene in a Ki-Duk film might play out in excruciatingly real time, his storylines often develop and shift with breathtaking speed. The second half of Samaritan Girl takes an abrupt turn as her father tracks down her clients one by one, then lays on the guilt and shame, Asian style.
너 너무하지 않아? 무슨 말?
당신 누군데 이래? 내가 그녀만 어쨌다고? 당신은 왜 바보같이 맞고만 있어? 뭔 잘못해서? 왜 우리 아빠 때려? 정말 미친 아가씨야 진짜!
너 왜 그러니? 응? 뭐 잘못한 거 있어?
응?
더러운 새끼. 딸보다 어린애 구멍이나 파고. 걔 젖도 그러진 않아.
Kim's little worlds are compelling and somehow believable. And he usually pulls off this feat without a lot of needless chit-chat.
저는 이제 그
It is true that my movies do not have much dialogue. It is to suggest that spoken words are meaningless. As the world has developed, spoken words have become full of lies and hypocrisy. The absence of dialogue, therefore, is to emphasize what you do, your actions. And since nuances are very difficult to translate in foreign films, I have chosen for characters to have very little dialogue.
In Three Iron, the central character never utters a syllable. This silent and enigmatic young man breaks into vacant homes, not to steal, but to experience the lives of its occupants. He takes souvenir photos, even does their laundry. One day he breaks into a house that, unbeknownst to him, is not vacant. When he sees a man abusing his wife, he decides to make his presence known.
저거 뭐야? 누가 들어서 골프를 치지? 어떻게 들어왔어? 여보세요. 경찰서죠? 너 뭐 하는 거야? 뭐 하는 거야? 아!
Three Iron not only serves as a metaphor, but also as an important motif within the film. To me, a golf club is used for sports, but it can also be used as an instrument of violence. In Korea, golf is perceived as a sport for the bourgeoisie. It is for the elite. And in the film, the Three Iron is intended to be used by the privileged, but also to punish them.
Quiet Boy and the wife silently bond, and silently ride off together. He ends up in prison, where he masters the art of invisibility.
My paintings are halfway between realism and abstract. I think this is also possible for films. In the imagery, something that is not seen as realistic, like a phantom, is a crossing point between realism and the fantastic. I think that it is an important methodology in films to express the difference between what you imagine and what is real.
Three Iron concludes somewhere between Kim's imagination and reality, as Quiet Boy returns to live at the house as a ghost. A very friendly ghost indeed. These days, the whole world is gagging for Korean films and film directors, but it's not the first time that a Korean filmmaker has been summoned from afar. It's a reasonably well-known fact that Kim Jong-il, the self-styled dear leader of the North, is a huge movie fan, citing his favourite film of all time as Gone with the Wind, and you can't really argue with that. But the North isn't really known for the quality of its cinematic output. So in 1978, Kim Jong-il instigated the kidnapping of a famous South Korean director and his ex-wife, a leading actress of the day. While held against their will, he forced them to make several movies, including a little epic called Polgasari, about a tiny doll made of rice that grows to be a giant metal-eating monster. It's no Gone with the Wind, but then communist beggars can't really be choosers.
불가사리야! 불가사리!
Polgasari, of course, represents the monster of capitalism. At first it seems benevolent, a cute and friendly little fella. But then the monster of capitalism grows out of control, voraciously consuming all the metal or blood of the working man it can sink its teeth into.